Faith Newman is a fictional character in the popular American television daytime series The Young and the Restless. Her mere presence inside her mother's tummy had stirred some major drama in the series, including her being abducted as a baby up to the time she grew up as a teen, and struggled with cyberbullying, which led to an alcohol problem. She was a sweet girl who had the misfortune of being associated with the wrong people, who impaired her judgment. She eventually matured, owned up to her mistakes, and tried to turn her life around with the help of her parents and a love interest. The fans were confused about the recast of the character in 2021, initially thinking Faith was to be written out because the original actor quit the show. In the history of the daytime TV series The Young and the Restless, or Y&R, dominated the TV ratings and remained on top for 32 years, one of the flagship series of the CBS network since it premiered in March 1973. The soap opera was created by William J. Bell, who was the head writer of NBC's Days of Our Lives, and his wife, Lee Phillip Bell, who was a former talk show host. It was originally entitled The Innocent Years, but before it was marketed as such, the creators changed their minds because they realized that in the early 1970s, the youth of America had already lost much of their innocence. Initially, the drama series focused on two families, the Brooks and the Fosters, who lived in the fictionalized Genoa, a small city in Wisconsin. However, it evolved when the narrative changed its focus on the rivalry between Catherine Chancellor and Jill Foster. Catherine was married to Philip Chancellor II for 12 years, but the marriage was nearing its end, mostly due to her alcohol addiction. At that time, Catherine and Jill were friends, as the former was helping the latter with her numerous problems, and they became each other's confidants. However, things had become ugly when the manipulative Jill had an affair with Philip. The Chancellors divorced when Philip learned Jill was pregnant. He married Jill on his deathbed, and subsequently, the two women fought for his estate and custody of Philip's son. Around that story, new families were introduced, including the Abbotts Williams, Newmans, Barbers Winters, and Baldwin Fishers. Faith first appeared in the series as a baby in 2009, portrayed by the Lutzke twins. Due to the many changes in the narrative of her story, her birth date changed from 2009 to 2006, and then it was permanently changed to the 30th of September 2004. In 2007, Y&R fans were quite confused, and many theories were talked about when it was rumored that the character of Faith in that season would be presented not only with a new face, but also a new age. Most of the young characters in long-running daytime series had rapidly aged to fit the kind of storyline that the writers wanted the characters to adapt. Here are the three actors who played Faith Newman over the years. When Faith appeared again in 2011 in the storyline as a 3-year-old girl, Alivia Allen Lynn was tapped for the role. She was a child actress and the daughter of veteran actress Barbara Allen Lynn. Since Faith wasn't a lead character in the daytime series, over the years, Alivia would often take on other TV projects on the side, such as in Revenge, See Dad Run, NCIS, and Transparent. However, in 2013, she never thought that a conflict of filming schedule would lead to her to be replaced in Y&R, albeit temporarily. After a year of doing other things, she returned to the Y&R set in May 2014 to resume her portrayal of the role. There was a time when she took longer breaks from the series, but the producers didn't have to hire a temporary replacement because the writers sent her away to a boarding school to explain her absence. However, in March 2021, she formally said goodbye to the character permanently as she took up a lead role in another TV series, Chucky. While the role of Faith wasn't regarded as a main one in the series, her presence was needed for the continuity of some of the narratives. When the original actress couldn't play the role, the producers were in a dilemma, as they needed someone to fill in as quickly as possible, and they found McKenna Grace. Initially, some of them thought McKenna would have a difficult time acclimating into the role, but the actress who played Faith's mother in the series, Sharon Case, shared that the new actress was confident and wasn't nervous at all. The producers were in a conundrum when Alivia quit the series in 2021. The role of Faith had become one of the biggest storylines Y&R had at the time, and they needed someone who could step into the role immediately and smoothly. They hired Ray Lynn Castor for the role, but some fans were confused because she started playing Faith Newman just a few days after Alivia left. Ray Lynn said that she had to force herself to adjust quickly to the story and work on the chemistry with her co-stars. It helped that she knew a lot about soap operas before she joined the series. She also said, "When I found out that I was testing for the role, I did quite a bit of research and watched clips of Faith on YouTube, just so I could really get her right." Faith Newman's parents, Nicholas and Sharon Newman, were one of the super couples of Y&R. She had many siblings, but from both her parents, she only had an older brother named Noah. Through her mother, she had two older sisters, Mariah Copeland and Cassie Newman. The latter died in a vehicular accident in 2005. With her father, she had an older sister, Summer, and a younger brother, Christian. Her parents were already divorced and married to other people when she was conceived. She was the result of an affair, and her mother initially claimed that her biological father, Jack Abbott, was her husband at the time. Her mother was institutionalized in a mental hospital when Faith was born, and to make matters worse, her uncle, Adam Newman, abducted her and passed her off as Ashley Abbott's new baby. Apparently, Adam caused his stepmother's miscarriage accidentally, and before anybody discovered it, he replaced the dead infant with Faith. Both Faith's parents thought that she died, and the truth was only revealed later on, when Sharon had already developed a relationship with Adam. When Faith was about 6 months old, someone discovered that Adam had blackmailed the doctor who delivered Faith, and before he died, had left a note about the baby. Due to the convoluted relationship between Sharon and Adam, Nick filed for sole custody of Faith. Sharon was declared to be unfit to take care of Faith because she continued seeing Adam, despite the reality that he was the one who kidnapped her daughter and lied to everyone. However, the judge didn't rule in his favor during the custody hearing. Ultimately, Sharon had to give Faith up to Nick because she was charged with the murder of Sky Lockhart. Faith was confused and disgusted with the conflict between her parents. There was a time when Nick and Sharon became engaged again, but it didn't last due to Sharon's mental issues. Apparently, Sharon did things that Nick wasn't able to forgive, such as tampering with the DNA of one of their children, Summer, so she could pass her off as another man's daughter. They had custody battles one after the other, and Faith couldn't take it anymore. When she was given a choice to be with her parents again, due to the shared custody agreement, she said no to both of them and went to live with her grandparents. Each year, Faith grew more disenchanted with how people around her misbehaved, including having to witness her aunt kiss her mom's boyfriend. She was also disappointed with her father's new relationship, so gladly attended a boarding school to be away from it all. She was in a peaceful place until the story about her abduction by Adam was published both online and offline. It didn't help that people also questioned her mom's relationship with Adam. Mean girls in the boarding school were just fascinated with her secret birth story, and Faith suffered cyberbullying. Y&R fans were divided of the character of Faith Newman at this point. Some of them thought that she kept on acting out when things didn't go her way, but other fans believed that it was a result of becoming a dysfunctional family. Faith's happy world was shattered during school vacation when she learned that her mother had cancer. Upon returning to school, she started to misbehave and befriended a girl named Jordan, who turned out to be a bad influence on her. Her new friend encouraged her to drink alcohol and even pressured her to steal vodka. An alcohol bottle was found by school officers inside her locker, and though Faith claimed that she was set up, no one believed her, so she was expelled. She was later on exonerated when it was proven that someone else had framed her. When Faith developed an alcohol problem, her mother immediately identified who instigated her daughter to drinking and warned Jordan to leave her daughter alone. Faith's family believed that she needed to ditch Jordan, but at that time, Faith felt that Jordan was the only friend she had from school. Even if she knew her friend's flaws, she initially refused to follow their advice. Her parents were skeptical about her actions and decisions, and it didn't help that Faith heard them talking about her. She felt so alone, and the internet became her haven. But she disregarded the safeguards on interacting with anonymous people online, and was catfished by a schoolmate. It began when she received messages from someone who pretended to be an admirer named Tommy. Imagine her shock and disappointment when she found out that Jordan was the one who orchestrated it. Jordan told her that she did it because she'd become quite boring and whiny. Her former friend also found it disappointing that Faith had let her parents dictate to her. Following Jordan's betrayal, Faith felt completely screwed up, and everything spiraled down from there. A distraught and intoxicated Faith drove her grandpa's truck and had a vehicular accident. Adam witnessed the whole thing and came in time to save her. She survived the crash but sustained broken ribs, head trauma, and damage to her kidneys. With the help of her family, she bravely faced her inner demons. Jordan apologized to her, but Faith didn't accept her excuses and told her that she never wanted to see her again. She also went to court to face her misdemeanors, such as driving under the influence and underage drinking. The judge sentenced her to do community service, check into a rehab facility, and pay a fine. Faith knew that she would attract the attention of gossip mongers and bullies in her school, but felt that she needed to get past it. She also now believed that many people loved her, and she could count on her family when things went bad. When she arrived, a boy named Wayne confronted her and blamed her for Jordan's expulsion, even telling her that she was a loser. But another boy named Moses Winters came to her rescue. Moses told Wayne that he was the loser for confronting a girl who had just recently come out of the ICU. Moses was the new friend she met at the hospital when she was recovering from the accident, the son of Neil Winters and Sophia Dupree, and the adopted younger brother of Devin Hamilton, who was a friend of her parents. When everything seemed great for Faith, she suddenly collapsed, and doctors found out that she suffered from acute interstitial nephritis, or AIN. It's an infection that damaged her kidney, and there were only 2 ways to treat it. She had to undergo dialysis for the rest of her life, or have a kidney transplant. The wait list for acquiring a kidney was 10 years, and it could take longer than that because Faith had a rare blood type. It was her grandfather, Victor Newman, who revealed that Faith and Adam shared the same rare blood type in the family. To her parents' dismay, and Faith's as well, after searching for many potential donors in the family, Adam was the only compatible match. While they were extremely wary of Adam, they didn't have any choice but to accept it. The surgery was successful, and so she survived this life-threatening illness. Faith and Moses felt an attraction for each other during their initial meeting. Moses was studying to be a doctor and was at the hospital to observe Dr. Nate Hastings do his hospital rounds. Faith, on the other hand, told her parents that she was in the no friendship zone phase because of what she had been through. However, when Moses invited her for a coffee, she immediately said yes, but instead of going out with him somewhere else, she invited him to the Crimson Lights, the coffee house owned by her parents. When Moses arrived, he was given the 3rd degree by Nick, and when the latter was satisfied by the younger man's answers, he left the 2 alone. Moses then asked Faith if they could go out more, but she told him that she would be quite busy because of the court orders that she needed to follow. She was honest enough to share all that had happened to her and said that she would understand if he wanted to stay away from her. Moses then assured her that he wasn't leaving her because he understood her situation, sharing that his father, too, went to Alcoholics Anonymous. So many unfortunate things happened in the life of Faith Newman, though for now, she's been living a more peaceful and stable life. Her loved ones were quite ecstatic when she was able to turn her life around, despite being in a chaotic family. Her sister Mariah once said that Faith inspired her to be more hopeful and braver in dealing with whatever trials she might encounter. In the world of soap operas, especially Y&R, no one can predict what could happen to each of the characters. While Faith must be having a grand time at the moment, with Moses by her side, one could expect the writers to create a storyline that would shake her peaceful universe with abductions, terminal illnesses, amnesia, or more birth secrets. Hold your breath, viewers. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.